everyone, it's Holly here, and I wanted to make this live video today because I've had some questions from my community in my Facebook groups around what 5 things should we be focusing on to create an amazing business. And as the owner of a part-time 6-figure business myself, there's been a few things that have really made the difference to me, even though I've had not a huge amount of time, limited resources, and been juggling multiple other priorities since I started in business a few years ago. So a little bit of background on me if you're new to my community. As I said, my name is Holly. I live in Sydney with my baby girl and my husband and 2 fur babies. And I have only ever been part-time in my business, as I mentioned, so I negotiated a part-time role in a Fortune 500 company. Which is really exciting and amazing and has allowed me the freedom and flexibility to also create a passion-driven 6-figure business on my terms. So I'm all about rewriting the rules for success in your career or business, whatever that means to you, and to be able to create a career of your design. And that might mean making the corporate world work for you. That might mean creating a side hustle around your 9 to 5 and really leveraging the fact that you're multi-passionate, because so many of us are. We don't like to just work within one little box. Or to take your business to the next level and, quit your 9 to 5, like many of my clients have been able to, and have all the, freedom and flexibility that you could possibly desire to work within, your own business and on your own terms, running your own show. So I guess the point being is that there are so many opportunities and choices that we have these days. The 9 to 5 can literally look like anything you want it to. And if that means creating your own passion-driven business, then this video is going to share with you the 5 key principles that you want to be focusing on in order to really scale to the heights that you want to, that will ultimately help you steer that course sustainably, which is the key thing, because there's a lot of people starting their own businesses these days, but the key is that we want it to be profitable, we want it to be long-term, and we want it to really fulfill us in a way that doesn't then just swap a business for our 9 to 5 and work crazy long hours chasing our tails. So I know there's a lot of people in my community right now that are kind of just tinkering around with their websites, to use their words, and not feeling like they're getting very far. Now, if I break it down to the simplest of terms possible of what is needed to start your own business, firstly, you need to know what you're selling. You need to have something to sell. You need to know who you're selling it to. You also need to be super clear on why they would buy that from you and not anyone else. So why are you their go-to person? You need to be top of mind and easy to find, as I like to say. And you need to break through your own barriers, limiting beliefs, and your own BS, to be quite frank. So those are the key things on the simplest level possible that are needed in place. Now, I'm going to share the 5 key principles that have really helped me bring all of that to life for myself, and which help all of my clients to create amazing freedom-based businesses that are also profitable, even if they are also part-time as well. So if we break those things down, I guess the number 1 thing is you really do need to be simple, not smart. I cannot emphasize this one enough. It's a principle that should be a guiding one across everything that you do in your business, because the amount of people I see trying to be too clever in their messaging or positioning, too fancy in their marketing tactics, or creating complex funnels, or crazy things that just overwhelm them and ultimately mean they don't take any action. And it's just crazy. Now, we need to be simple, not smart, when it comes to absolutely everything. So who are you targeting? And the simplest of terms, who is it you want to help the most? Because again, I've worked with people who had like a shopping list of 10 different groups of people they want to work with, and all that does is complicate everything, because we're not going to be single-minded enough. We're not going to have that one killer message that really strikes a chord and resonates with those people who most need to hear it. It makes everything that you do far harder, because it's like a division of attention. You're focusing across too many different areas, and when we stand for everything, we ultimately stand for nothing. So be super simple with who is it you're speaking to. Now, I get a lot of questions about my niche. If I work with these people, does that mean I can't work with those people? I think the number one thing when figuring out your niche, and I spend a lot of time deep diving this with my clients because it does take some time to get that clarity around it and really consolidate your messaging and your positioning so that it's just seamless. But the key thing to remember is what should ultimately be front of mind is the number one problem that unifies those people. So it may be that what you do transcends across some slightly different groups, so long as the universal thing that unites them is that same problem or challenge that you help them with. So I think that's probably one of the simplest ways to break it all down for yourself. You know, it doesn't have to be that you're targeting Sandra, who is 35 and lives in Wisconsin and has a horse, you know? It doesn't have to be that specific or drilled down, but your target market, the people who you're wanting to work with and serve, they should be able to identify themselves in your descriptions, in your messaging. You know, they need to be able to come across your content and know I'm in the right place because this is speaking to the number one challenge that I'm facing right now. Okay, so be simple, not smart. And that goes across everything, as I said. So your website, your copy, your content, your videos, just stop being so fancy is my message there. And just break things down to, you know, what is it that people really want? That's what I mean by being simple, not smart. Then when we are really clear on who we're targeting, we need to, of course, be visible. So this is what I mean by being top of mind and easy to find. It's amazing how many people I support in my own programs who haven't even publicly announced that they have a business on any platform or even told friends and family or their wider networks. The lowest hanging fruit opportunities in terms of business come from people who already know you because they already know, like, and trust you. So the hard part there in terms of establishing that relationship is already done. They can refer people to you. They can send ideas your way. Might be able to send clients your way. They may be your ideal clients. But if they don't know what it is you're doing, obviously that's an impossible opportunity to tap into. So being visible, not only to those who already know you, but being visible to attract new people into your audience as well, absolutely key. Now there's that age-old saying around, I think it's, you know, dance like no one's watching. I say show up like no one's watching, okay? Show up even if you feel there's no one listening to you. Show up even if you have a tiny list. Show up even if you're not entirely sure what you're going to gain as a result of it or what people are going to take away. Just be visible, be top of mind, be easy to find, because the right people will connect to you and your message. The right people are waiting to hear what you have to share with them. And until you put it out there, there's no way they are ever going to be able to, seek you out and work with you. Then you're never going to be able to make that connection. So brave up, as I said, show up like no one's watching, and you'll be amazed the impact that you end up having, even if it feels like no one's paying any attention to you. So that's the other key thing. Now, as part of that, I mentioned about establishing the relationship, and that would be my third key principle: is build relationships. It's amazing how many people I work with, and lots of my clients as well, who tear their hair out over trying to write the perfect sales page or the perfect sales email, newsletter or poster or whatever it is they might be doing in terms of marketing their message. But the number one way to get clients, the number one way to make sales is through, first and foremost, building relationships. And that means ideally in person, powerful connections. That is the number one way. Otherwise, showing up, as I mentioned before, online and really establishing that connection, because people buy from people they know, like, and most importantly, trust. And there is no trust if there's no relationship. There's no relationship if there's no trust. Now, we can also shortcut our way to our ideal audience by partnering with organizations or people who already target our same audience as well. So I have had so much success by creating amazing, strategic, and very enjoyable and rewarding joint venture partnerships with other organizations, membership bodies. It might be networking groups where I've been a keynote speaker. So many opportunities there. So think about how you can shortcut the process. Who already is connected with the people I most want to serve with my business? How is it that I offer something different that has a mutual benefit and interest? and establish those connections and relationships, because they can pay off time and time and time again. And this is how we can actually have an incredible 6-figure business on repeat sustainably from sometimes just a handful of clients. Okay, so we don't need to waste time or money trying to get thousands on our list when we can instead spend the time and focus and energy creating these powerful, deep-rooted relationships that just pay off immeasurably. And I can speak firsthand of clients where I've had repeat business for years that have amounted to tens and tens of thousands of dollars because of one initial conversation I had in person. So please don't think that the number of people on your list is more important than the quality of the relationships that you have with them. It is not. So consider, how can you show up? How can you be more visible? But most importantly, how are you building those relationships so that you can have other people refer to you? The 4th principle is to be memorable. So be memorable for something. Far too many people are just kind of showing up and being visible and saying anything, which is great to start with. It's great to just start putting yourself out there and building a presence, but we want to be known for something. We want to be remembered for something, and we can only achieve that if we are really consistent and really specific in terms of what it is we are talking about. So what I always recommend with my clients, and we spend a lot of time diving into what these are and what that means in terms of content and positioning overall, but I always share, what are your go-to expert topics? What do you want to be known for? That might be 3 key things, that might be 5 key things. I wouldn't recommend many more than 5 or 6, but the 3 or 5 key pillars or buckets in terms of areas of focus that sit within your niche and your area and your industry that you only ever talk about. And this is how you really own an area of expertise. This is how you build authority in an area of focus or expertise in your niche. And there's multiple layers within those topics, of course, to have tons of content ideas, but it's really just making sure you're single-minded, because what we want is to stand for something, not for anything and everything. And this also makes it easier for other people to send referrals your way again, because they know, this is the person who you should contact if this is the thing you're looking for or the challenge that you're struggling with. And that's how I've had, word of mouth and referrals sent to me, because it's super clear what I talk about in terms of my career and business area, niche and passions. So be memorable, be single-minded. And then the 5th key principle might sound a little bit strange, but be good enough. And I say that because mindset is the number one reason why so many talented, incredible women do not put themselves out there and create the career or business of their, choosing on their terms and of their design. Because there's something somewhere niggling in the back of their mind, that inner critic voice telling them, who am I to do this? Am I really good enough? Is this really possible? It's probably not meant to be. And all the other things that are just on a bit of a loop. We all deal with it. We all get it. It doesn't matter where we are, how successful we are, what stage we are at in business or in life. Everyone has to deal with those self-doubt thoughts. The key difference between successful people who achieve things overall is that they take action in spite of that self-doubt. They don't allow it to block them. They don't withdraw and retreat and tell themselves, another day, another time, maybe when I have more confidence, when I have more experience, when I have more knowledge, when I have more qualifications, or whatever the story is that you might be telling yourself personally. Just be good enough, because your 80% is probably way better than someone else's 150% anyway. And the most important thing is that you are out there making a difference and you're having an impact, and no one else is paying the level of attention and scrutiny to your stuff that you are. Okay, no one else is going through all of that detail of your website. No one else is reading every single last apostrophe of your newsletter. Honestly, no one has time for that. The key thing is, have you shared something that struck a chord? Have you resonated with them? Have you connected and related to that person? Are you reassuring them that you have a solution that can support them? And are you standing for something that's memorable and single-minded? So just remember that showing up does not have to mean polished perfection. Far from it. It's far better that people get to see the real you, that it's authentic, that it's natural, that it's not rehearsed. And I'm living and breathing being good enough right now because I'm taking a 10-minute window of opportunity to record this video while my nanny has my daughter out in the pram. So there's no time for rehearsals, there's no time to fix my hair. I am just knowing that this message is important to all the women who have been asking me this question lately, and it's been a video I've been wanting to record for the last few days, and this is my opportunity to share it, and that's all that matters. So I truly hope that these principles I've given you some inspiration to start thinking about what you could change in your business or your plan of attack, or to finally launch that dream business in 2019 that's been on the back burner for, let's face it, far too long, because you are enough, you are capable. And this is what has served me. I'm not about the fancy marketing tactics. I'm just about building those really important relationships and trust, and ultimately sharing what I have that I believe could support other people. And those things in particular have enabled me to get a 6-figure part-time business for the last few years. So truly hope that this is supporting you, and I would love to hear what resonates the most. If you're not already in my group, then join us over at Empowered Career Women Connect and Inspire, where I share all kinds of hints, tips, and inspiration on a daily basis. And I would love to support you in the new year in 2019 to make it your best year yet as well. So reach out, say hello, and I'll connect again with you soon. Bye for now.